Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. And today I want to talk about what is going on right now that really interests me, and I learned a lot from that. Like, I feel like there is a lot to learn, and I think that there is room for growth for me, and it has to do with Madam Wendy Williams and what she said about Mrs. Tabitha Brown and Mrs. Tabitha Brown's response to Wendy Williams. I'm a lot of people have been applauding Mrs. Tabitha for her response. Like, it was not abusive, like she didn't throw shade, but it was heavy, it was weighty, and all of that. And for me as a Christian, I can relate. A lot of Christians can actually relate because we face a lot of passive aggression towards our faith. Apparently the way we handle things is quite different from the way other people handle things, and the way Mrs. Tabitha explained how her marriage was like in a few words was just amazing. She was calm, she was cool, she was collected. It was as if, for me, I see what she said as something that could only come from when you spent quality time in the presence of God. Because according to those who really watch it, they said she did the video early in the morning, right? And so I assume that she's prayed, she's read the scriptures, she's had a quiet time, so she's meditated, so she was in a place of peace, and she was giving an answer of peace. You understand? She said the truth as she saw it, and she said her truth, and she kind of sympathized, not empathized, she sympathized with Madam Wendy for wherever she was coming from, that she implied what she did about her marriage. I don't know, some of you may have heard about it, but I think you should go and check it out. It's all over YouTube right now. It's what most everybody is talking about. They're all reacting to it. And for me, I see it from a place of, where as Christians in a secular world, we feel bullied. You understand? We feel like our faith is not respected. Our faith is not even respected as Christians. People respect Muslims, Hindus, other faiths have that respect. You don't have a lot of people actually questioning and cross-questioning the faith of other religions. But when it comes to Christianity, is like, they treat Christianity like they are ping pong. They feign interest just to mock your faith, and just to make a mockery out of it. And it can be very, very painful, especially when you've been very nice and very gracious with those people. And her response, Mrs. Tabitha's response, was grace over shade. Like, she could have ignored her, like most Christians would do. She could have ignored her. And the reason most Christians do is because they cannot trust. Like, for me, for example, where I am at right now, which means I need a lot of growth, obviously. Where I'm at right now, if someone says something like that, like what Madam Wendy said about my marriage, in that kind of situation, I wouldn't, I won't be responsible for what I would say. I don't think I would say what Jesus would say, that's for sure, and that would have been that would have tested my faith in a way, that would have portrayed my faith in the wrong light. You understand? And so I would not have said anything. And see, we need to learn to respond in love and in truth at the same time. And that was what Mrs. Tabitha did. She spoke in love, she spoke with truth, she was not emotional about it, she was honest and as open as as can be, without giving out too much details. She wasn't ranting, she wasn't raving, she was calm. And I was like, wow, such peace that surpasses all understanding, obviously. Woo, that was vomited by the Holy Ghost. That's all I can say. Like, she talked about her marriage being, God being first in her marriage. You understand? That is very, very key. And when God is first in what you do, there is that confidence you have that others do not have, that you can, based on what God says, it gives you that leverage of that level of confidence that you can move anywhere, you can defend, you understand what you're doing because it wasn't your idea. Do you understand? You recognize that you have your feelings and you might do it wrong. So you trust God. And she, as much as said that, like, look, God is the center of this marriage. What her husband was doing. Mrs. Tabitha said what her husband, the job he was doing and where they are from. She gave a recap of her marriage in a few words, that is inspiring to any Christian woman watching, whether married or single. And, I think she spoke to everybody. Do you understand? She didn't just speak to Wendy. That's when I know that this is something that came out from spending quality time with God. It was, I felt the Holy Spirit in it. I felt a lot of people were seeing shade. I didn't see shade. I saw grace. That was grace over shade. And I hope that this would meet Madam Wendy well, and then she would, adjust her ways. And, I think if nobody tells her, I think she's been told right now, she's been served, like some people will say, that she needs therapy. It's very funny, isn't it? In a place like Hollywood where you get a trainer for everything, you get the experts for everything, and religion, Christianity is seen like as a religion of fiction, that kind of thing that some people dream up. And you believe in psychologists and therapists, but you hardly make use of these people. I don't understand it at all. Like, it's obvious that she needs to see a therapist to heal from what she's going through. And she should not let pride stand in her way, because because she allowed pride, she wanted to show, her ex-husband and his new woman that she didn't feel anything. You understand? So she doesn't need to see a psychologist, because the moment she sees a psychologist and people know about it, it will be all over the internet. You understand? For someone who dogs everybody's steps, well, maybe not dog everybody's steps, but for someone who, if someone is seeing a therapist, you hear it on Wendy's show, even celeb. So obviously she's going to have the paparazzi after her. And she said she loved the paparazzi. So I guess she doesn't want that out there, So maybe that's why she's not seeing a therapist, and I think this was something she should have just skipped. But I see God in this, and I hope that Mrs. Tabitha's prayer is answered, because she prayed that love finds her, a love that would see her, that will see past the negatives in her life and help her build and help her heal and help her, become stable in a good way. You understand? Don't we all need that prayer? I don't know about y'all, but I need that prayer too. Like, I don't know why everybody was saying, oh my God, she told her. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's true. But I see this as the gospel. Do you understand? This is the gospel for me. What Mrs. Tabitha's response was gospel. It was powerful. It was a message. And I don't think there is anyone who will hear it and will not feel schooled, will not learn something. If nothing else, you will learn how to respond in the face of provocation when you are being wrongfully judged, when when people misunderstand your life and put it out there in a way that misrepresents the life you have. I think she's teaching Christians especially to respond from a place of love, to respond from a place of understanding. And that's why she responded. She responded by briefly telling her that, look, you're wrong. This is how things are right here. And I understand that you don't understand that. I don't think she meant it as an insult, But that aside, I heard she's from the South, in the United States, and women from the South, they are polite in the face of no matter what they're going through, no matter the provocation, the confrontation, they don't raise their voice. But my God, when they say something, their words are like bomb, calmly, and they throw it down with calm, with sugary, soft voice, with a smile. I need to be schooled. You understand what I'm saying? If nothing else, Wendy had become like a destiny promoter or destiny helper without even knowing it for Mrs. Tabitha. Like, now everyone who doesn't know her, now I know her. You understand what I'm saying? Now I know her. I didn't really know her before, but now I know her. I admire her right now. Like, I'm like, Jesus. That is something to learn, because a lot of times Christians have been silenced with, people who don't understand your faith and understand that your faith plays an integral part in everything you do, and because of that is quite different from how other people do things. They come and without even asking you, they just jump into your business, quote and unquote, and begin to analyze it based on their own experience, right? I mean, and they don't put a disclaimer that, look, this is purely my opinion, I might be wrong and I stand to be corrected, but this is what I think, but they make it sound as if that is the truth of what is going to happen. And that is where Mrs. Wendy got it wrong. And I hope that she adjusts, you understand, because the way she goes at celebrities or anybody else that she chooses to talk about is sometimes, I'm like, why is she like this? Like, why is she like this? Right? And I don't know what to say. I'm still reeling from Mrs. Tabitha's response. I'm still, that's when you know something is powerful. You still feel it, right? I felt it personally. I don't really see it as I think it's a response to anybody. So right now, right, people will be very careful about how they react or comment to other people's lives, you understand, and they'll be more objective. And even if you're going to speak based on your experience, you'll be a little bit more gracious. You put a disclaimer that, look, this is my own and I'm speaking from my experience, and based on my experience, this is what I think might happen. But hey, I also understand that it's not a one size fits all, because a situation looks like yours does not mean that it's going to end like yours. You understand? I think it depends on the foundation. The foundation is very, very key, and the motives, the circumstances, all of those things come into play when it comes to how things can play out and how things can actually end, So, yeah. I want to say thank you to Mrs. Tabitha Brown, because now people will be very careful not to mess with Christians right now, because we're taking notes as Christians and saying, okay, so number one, I can respond. And I think a lot of people have actually learned that what you base your marriage on can actually be the downfall or the support for your marriage. And if your marriage is based on something that is fickle, is not strong, the foundation is not God, it would crumble. Do you understand what I'm saying? It would crumble, So she said that in so many words. I learned a lot from that. If your marriage is not based on God, it's not based on, God is not the final say, the center of your marriage may not last. And if it does last, it's going to be barely, you understand? So, and Christians also need not just keep quiet in the face of mockery and misrepresenting your life. You need to come out, unless God says otherwise. You need to come out and defend yourself and say, hey, listen up, this is how things are, and not what you're saying. This is how it has been, this is how it is, and this is where we are going. So just for clarity's sake, and just to check people, you understand. So all right, that's about it. I mean, go watch it and then come tell me what you think. For me, that it was grace, 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 grace on Mrs. Tabitha Brown's part, and it was grace over shade, the shade that Madam Wendy consciously or unconsciously threw at Mrs. Brown. So well, if you like what has been said so far, please like the video, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and let me know what you think. All right, so take care of yourselves and stay healthy, keep God first, please, and try to be as natural as possible. Shalom.